All right, in this tutorial we're going to cover how to view and monitor your employees' training progress. To do so, when you first log in, you simply go to the My Employees tab over on the left. Once you click on the My Employees tab, this is where you can very quickly view the progress of your employees in this specific office. From the top here you have additional features that you can do. The first one we'll cover is how to create a new employee account. You simply click on the Create New Employee Account. Here's where you can just fill out their name, email, set their first training date. This is optional. You don't have to include this if you don't know, but if you do know when you'd like them to start training, you can enter in that date and their password. Now you'll notice down here at the bottom this account has 3 offices. They will always default as a user in the current office that you are in. But if, for example, you wanted this individual to be a supervisor in a different office, you could select that office and also make them a supervisor so that they'd be a supervisor in this second office, but they would be just a regular user in the main office. Or if you want them to be maybe an office admin in that office, you can do that as well. But they will always default as a user in the office that you are currently in. Once you have filled this information out, you just click on Submit, and that will create the account. It will immediately bring you back to your My Employees page. From here, you then can also search for employees by name by just simply typing in either a part of their first or last name and clicking search. That will bring up the employees with that information. There is also a filter bar here where you can filter the account by access level. So if you wanted to just see the users, and then maybe inside the users you also wanted to see just the users that have completed HIPAA privacy, you can use the training filter bar. This will show you just those users that have completed that training. Or maybe more importantly, you want to see just the users that still need to take HIPAA privacy. That will then show those. Now this is nice because you'll see there's a Remind All button here, so you can send an email just to those users. Remember, these are just the users that have not completed the HIPAA privacy training. When you click that link, it will remind you, are you sure you want to email this to everyone? Once you click OK, that will send them an email reminder to complete this training with login instructions. To get back to the regular view, you just simply put back any training and then any access level, and that will show all of the users again. Now you will notice there's different positions. In this account, you can either be designated an office admin, a supervisor, management, or users. Office admins have complete control over the account. They can add and remove employees. From the dashboard, they can customize the surveys and the trainings so they can allow people to see. They can schedule for the office which trainings can or cannot be seen. They can also update those policies and procedures in the survey questions for each of those trainings. So they have all access, so you want to be careful who you designate as an office admin. Supervisors, however, supervisors can just view their own trainings, and then they can also view this employees page, but they cannot create employees, so they don't have that create employee button. They also cannot remove employees, but they can send reminders out to employees, so they can remind employees to take specific trainings. Management means they just can take management training. We do have 2 specific training modules, management training and user training. The users just get the information that they're required to get. Anyone considered management in your office, including the providers, you'll want to always make sure they're at least management or higher, so they can be a supervisor or an office admin, but any of these 3 categories will get management training. Let's look inside one of these specific employee accounts. To do so, all you need to do is just click on the employee's name. This will then show the trainings that this specific employee has completed, the date that they've completed them, and their certificates. You can click on the certificate link to view the certificate. You'll also see you can send an invitation, or excuse me, an individual invitation to this employee if they have not completed a training yet. You'll also see there's a remove button. The remove button will actually remove that specific training for that employee. So you want to be careful when you click that if you truly want to remove that training for that individual employee. Over on the right, you have some additional options for this employee account. You can edit the employee profile. If we click on that link, this again brings you back to the name, address, information. You also can include a hire date, which is optional if you want to keep track of that information. And this is also where you can update or change that office access information. You'll also see there's a remove button here. This is when you have an employee that has quit or no longer works in your practice. You just click on remove. It will ask you if you want to remove this employee, and you click OK. At that point, that employee will then be removed from the account, and you'll no longer be charged for their account to access their training. Let's go back here. The next link is the reset employee password. Now you can't view the employee's password, but if they request it, you can go ahead and reset it. So you can just put it to a temporary password, give them that password, and then they can log in and click on their own individual profile if they want to update it or change it. The next link is the weekly email updates link. If you'd like to personally unsubscribe one of your employees from receiving our weekly updates, you just make sure it's on unsubscribe and click Save Changes. That employee will no longer get our updates. And then these last checkboxes here are for the additional features which are found over on the left-hand side. Now these can be turned off for the entire office as you saw on the dashboard, or they can also be turned off individually by employee, simply by just unchecking the boxes. This employee, let's say for example, if you don't want the employee to see the blog or the forms, maybe you don't want them to see the reference guide, but you do want to keep the how-to videos on there just in case they ever have questions or want to look at our frequently asked questions section. You can just uncheck those, and that will save that employee's information. So if we click out back to the My Employees tab, and then we click back on that specific employee, you'll see that those boxes are still unchecked. So if we wanted to put them back, we could just check those boxes, and that employee will then be able to see those additional tabs. And the final thing that you have access to on the My Employees tab is if you do have several employees, such as this demo account here on this account, and you'd like to sort them alphabetically, you can click on the employee column, and that will alphabetize everyone if it's quicker for you to look through your employees that way. It does default to the position view, so if you want it to go back to that view, you just click on the position column, and that will categorize all the employees by their position. So the office admins are at the top alphabetically, then the supervisors, then management, and then the users will finish it up. And that is the My Employees tab.